Hey everyone, so I am back with another video and I wanted to showcase a thread that I saw on Facebook that was amazing. I mean, this whole thread was like a word, like a whole sermon. So let me show you guys. Let me show you. So this was in a group called Prosperity of Black Women. And let me tell you, there was a woman asking a question about how much a woman should spend on her man, right? Okay. And then a pick-me-ish woman replies in this comment right here. She says, when my fiance and I were together, he paid for tickets and I bought snacks. If we went on trips, he paid for the hotel and all activities and I paid for the tickets. So, this woman in this comment had more of like a 50-50 mindset. Like she wanted to contribute financially to the relationship. Okay, cool, fine. Now, there are people, when this woman posted kind of like this pick-me rhetoric of like the 50-50 rhetoric, a lot of women chimed in and started giving reasons as to why that's a bad idea, okay? Hey, Patricia. Hey, girl. How are you? And Melanie Hazelton. Hey, girl. Hey. I know I'm a little late, but I just really wanted to show you lovely ladies this thread. It was so interesting, and I'm so happy I read this stuff. Okay. Okay, now someone responds to the lady that's pushing the 50-50 rhetoric. She says, I don't mean any harm, but I just saw your post in another group and reading your response here makes everything make sense. Going 50-50 doesn't make men appreciate you more. I know you probably think women who want providers are selfish, but men don't love the same way we do. Women tend to be nurturers and are naturally sacrificial. So it makes sense to want a man to take care of you since we will always give more in a relationship. Your issue with your daughter's father that you posted about and how he doesn't take heed to your instructions and is doing things on his own time in regards to taking care of this online schooling probably stem from you supporting this type of build-a-man mindset, honestly. I think that's very interesting. Oh yeah, Melanie Hazelton says exactly not hypergamous at all. I mean, obviously, like if you go 50-50, that's obviously not a hypergamous move, right? Like if you go 50-50, you have a roommate, you have a friend, you have a partner, you don't have a husband who takes care of you. Okay. Now, next. And so the lady says here, she says, I don't feel right if I don't contribute, and I don't feel right having someone work to be able to pay everything. I just don't feel comfortable doing that. And this is coming from someone who watched her dad provide and take care of his wife and 6 kids. That's just me. I want a partner, not a father. Okay, so she's saying that she wants a partner. Okay. Now, here are some arguments for why you shouldn't go 50-50. You have a woman right here that says, Lala. So you agree then, your parents' marriage sounds like it represents a situation in which each person brings their strengths. Hers as a nurturer and caregiver and his as the provider. What your mother brought was valuable, even if it wasn't money. Women bring a lot to relationships that men never can. The least they can do is provide the cash. That's their job. Okay? That was really interesting. So, point one, women are naturally nurturing. They're natural caregivers. They're natural nurturers. It is instinctual. It is a part of the female DNA, right? It's a part of the female biology. Now, with that said, people, we don't talk about the immense value in emotional labor, but it's extremely valuable. I mean, that's why loneliness is now like an epidemic in America, right? Like the loneliness problem, everybody's so lonely because emotional labor, the labor that comes with caregiving is devalued. If it's not attached to hard money, people devalue it. But then when they don't have it in their life, that's when they realize that that stuff is valuable. And women bring that to relationships. So that's number one, why you should only date a provider man. And if you're providing financially and providing emotional labor, like you're being exhausted, you are being probably run ragged. You're doing too much. You shouldn't take on both those roles. Okay, now another woman writes here, wanting a provider isn't wanting another father. It's actually loving yourself enough to know you deserve a man who sees your value outside of your financial contributions. There are plenty of married and engaged women who work and have businesses and their partners still take care of the bills because their partners think they're worth it. A man should love and cherish you regardless of if you have half, and if you take away half your paycheck, you would honestly see that most of these men only deal with you for that reason, which is why it's good to have discernment. And that's the thing, like a lot of these men will be out here only dating women because they need financial help, not because they actually want the woman. And then the woman always, oftentimes she ends up getting left and she doesn't know why she got left. And it's because they were only using her for her money anyway. Okay, now she keeps on, this lady keeps up with the pick-me-sha rhetoric. She says, if you're in a committed relationship, why does it matter who pays the bills, blah, blah, blah. And then a woman says here, Tenacious Jones, now this one was really smart and intelligent. Continue to get used, love. Everyone won't get it. I want better for your daughter, and hopefully Black women will continue to raise the bar and learn their worth as a collective. Okay? Now, I want to skip to this woman. Now, it's something really important to think about. Hey, okay. Hey, Hazelton. Hey, Labus 2900. Women got to provide to not only men. I don't agree. If women have to provide, they shouldn't be expected to give up any type of sex. Used up. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if a man's not providing for me, I'm not giving up anything. I'll be celibate. But anyway, let's see. Now, this is where the heavy hitter gets. So here's one thing that you'll never get back, ladies. Here's the number one reason why you should not be providing in your relationships, because your youth is something you can never get back. Money you can get back. Your youth you can never get back. Okay? With that said, a woman's youth is a key asset to dating and securing a mate. When a woman's youth is gone, unfortunately, the way it works in society is her market value in the dating market it goes down drastically. Okay? And this woman brings it up. Okay, a man and a woman dating are not investing the same thing. She's investing her youth, which is the key asset when securing a partner, and dating means her position is not secured. Okay? Well, if you're not married, your position is not secured. And the reason why youth is such a key asset for women in dating is because a lot of times men are programmed to prefer young women because young women are fertile and they have children. And it's just hardwired in our DNA to want to procreate. And so we value potential mates that are able to procreate and are visibly, obviously able to procreate. Okay? And she says here, she can't replace youth like he can replace dollars. He gets her youth and time no matter what. He gets her youth and time no matter what. So asking him to invest his money should not be a stretch, especially in the dating phase where she's likely investing more money in her appearance than he does for enjoying it. Okay? Ooh, okay. And then the pick-me-sha said, what exactly does a woman do in a relationship if the man is doing it all? She's like, you're not being serious. Have you read any statistics on the benefits of being married for men? What do we bring to the table? And she says, we are the table. Okay. I think that's really interesting. Now, Then she keeps pushing the pick-me-shit rhetoric where she says, I just care more about a man's character than whether or not he can pay my bills, okay? All right. Now this was like a whole word. I'm going to read this comment right here, and I hope you ladies listen carefully because this is hard hitting. So she says, you ask, why do women who wants to contribute to the household instead of letting the man work himself to death be seen as struggle love? Okay. She says, honestly, I think it's because of the second shift, the well-documented phenomenon where working women are still held responsible for managing the household, child care, elder care, and other responsibilities of running a home. I have seen relationships work that are egalitarian, and they take a lot of maturity and pre-relationship training to avoid the second shift, also because it is difficult to be providing for a man who was taught to be a provider. Okay? Men should have some instinct to provide, and that drive should be encouraged in them. Okay, now she starts to getting into a woman's reproductive nature. So she says, because reproduction has deeply asymmetric risk and needs when it comes to health, vulnerability, and needs, both during actual reproduction and in many cases, literally for the rest of a woman's life. We all know that women, especially Black women in America, die at crazy rates of in childbirth. They're like their mortality rate during childbirth is scary, extremely scary. So when you have sex with a man, you are risking your life essentially. So them providing should not be a problem, right? And she says here, the man really nothing of his health and reproduction. His worth on the dating market is not diminished with age, and if you have any widowers in your circle, you will see this firsthand. This is why men were taught to invest their resources in the woman that is a potential sexual partner, because until very recently, sex equals babies. And I think that women are taught, or should be taught, to be very careful with how much they give a guy, because they are already giving their youth and sometimes their health or their lives. And these are things you can't get back. You can't get back your youth. You can't get back your health. And you can't get back your life if you die during childbirth or die for some sexual related diseases or whatnot, right? And she says, if you have ever met a woman who during her pregnancy could not work because of how sick she was or some complication like bed rest, then you see the value of having a man with a provider mindset. Okay? And the thing is, it's like when women get pregnant, a lot of times they can't work the same way. I don't know how many of you in here knows what that's like. Have any of you been pregnant or cared for a pregnant woman? These women can't do anything. They can barely do anything. These women are suffering from fatigue, suffering from nausea. You can't get up and go work like that. So if you don't have a provider man looking out for you and taking care of the home, you are at a huge disadvantage. And you probably, and your life is kind of on the line because you can't support yourself. You can't get the basic things that you need because you can't work. Okay? So this is why it's important to have a provider male. And these are not superficial reasons. This is like life and death. This is like, will I be able to eat or not if I get pregnant by this man who's having sex with me? If a man is having sex with you and he's not providing for you, he is stealing from you. Because if you're having sex with anyone, there will always be a possibility that you get pregnant. And if that were to happen, and you don't have anyone to provide for you, and you're suffering from morning sickness, you're suffering from fatigue, you can't get up and work, how are you going to survive, right? Okay. Now, knowing before you get married that the guy will voluntarily step up and handle the finances can take a lot of stress out of life, because there is a good chance that he might actually have to do it all just to keep the woman and the child alive. Now, I'm going to read this again. Knowing before you marry that the guy will voluntarily step up and handle the finances can take a lot of stress out of life, because there is a good chance that he might actually have to do it all just to keep the woman or child alive. It's really that serious. Like, okay. Okay. But that's it for this comment. I'm going to read the last little paragraph she writes here, and it says, but I will say this, even if both partners are bringing in money, if he is lacking the 5 P's, which are protection, provision, protection, oh, she put protection again. Protection and promotion, that is a character flaw, and the relationship is not going to be equal. She will end up doing her work and his work, okay? So this is why it's important to have a provider male. Women take on the lion's share of sexual risk, and honestly, if a man's not providing, this woman is going to do double the work. And then she adds here about the whole comment about a woman's youth. When you're taking a woman's youth, when you're taking a woman's time, she could be investing that time in a man that's actually going to provide for her. It says the stats in online dating sites are informative. The men drop off the older the woman gets. I don't write the news, I just read it. There is very little else a woman can have in the dating market that can compare to her youth. And she says, because men will never make the kind of relationship compromises that women do, I promise, hand to God swear, that a woman will accommodate a man being poor or stingy faster than a man will accommodate her being ugly or old. Show me the lie. You know, I'm sorry. That was just like a whole word. So, anywho, Melanie Hazelton says, exactly, you cannot get that time back. Time is an investment that needs compensation. Absolutely. Absolutely. And a man, like she mentioned in this thread, that a man's value in the dating market doesn't really go down as he gets older, but a woman's value in the dating market oftentimes is seen as just like a key reason to date. You know, a lot of people want to date young women because they are fertile and they can have children and so on and so forth. So there's that. So yeah, this is why, ladies, don't you ever settle for a man who will not provide for you. Okay, so that's all I have to say, and I will see you lovely people later. Bye.